With such a big spread of boat types, sizes and handicaps all on a 700 nautical mile race, it is inevitable that at some point the smaller boats will have their day in the Rolex Fastnet Race. And 2021 was that year. And as the small boats proved when they crossed the line, size doesn't matter when it comes to a good performance and great stories. The big boats might have been impressive, but it was these boats that were the real winners this time. After the big guns came the next wave of finishers in IRC Class 1, among them Andrew Hall's Negra.
Well, we were very worried to watch the other people finishing, and we noticed that we just thought it was probably going to be better to stick it out and just keep the boat going, not disturb it. We think sail play might be coming up a bit fast, so so we're a bit worried about that, but no matter. It's great to be here, and just nice to hopefully we'll get a place, because if not, all credit to some of the weeks. And we should actually be racing in the Welsh ILCs tomorrow. So we're going to head back and then see if we can jump in the car and head up to North Wales. We must be nuts.
But as it played out, overall victory went to Tom Neen's JPK 1180 Sunrise. They'd won IRC 2. Now they'd won the Rolex Fastnet Race overall.
It was hard. It's been a really hard race. Hard because the conditions were tough, I personally get quite seasick, so I was very seasick on the first day. Two of us in particular were quite bad. The boat really does well in those big seas and windy conditions, but I'm the weak link in that, to be honest. We did a last minute change of plan and came south of Casquettes, just because that was the right thing to do at the time, and that proved to pay dividends, and we built huge, I think we were doing 4 knots of boat speed and 10 knots over the ground. I mean, it's unbelievable the tide around here, so putting yourself in the right place at the right time is so important. When we got to the Casquettes TSS, we were worried that we were going to be punching tide in light breeze, and we knew there was this sort of area of light pressure behind us. And all the way from the Scillies, we were sort of saying it's about 10 miles behind us, we need to keep going and we need to stay in this pressure. And we just drove it east as quickly as we possibly could in the conditions we had, and didn't have much sleep, we just kept the boat going. The amazing thing about this year, given all the challenges in life, the pandemic, COVID caused work problems, and then this boat and the team have just pulled together and have done amazing things. And so considering our first season of racing was 2014, 2015 was our first proper offshore season. I think we're quite baby in it really, but we have, again, more by luck than judgment, pulled together an epic group of people that, all contribute to the project and are all behind it. So, I'm sure it will sink in, but it's all about the people. I think winning overall is a sort of once in a lifetime dream come true thing. Yeah, really difficult to kind of get your head around that as a potential reality.
The overall trophy may have been secured, but the racing wasn't over. Far from it. The double-handed fleet was the largest in the race, and the pressure had been intense.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning off the eastern entrance to the Rada Cherbourg, and a flurry of RC boats are battling strong currents and fluky winds. Leading the Figaro 3 fleet is the Irish RL Sailor.
We have a joke in the Figaros that we never reef, but we had a reef in the main and a reef in the jib for the first time ever, so so it's a pretty hairy start, but we had a really good leg out in the Solent, and we knew we came out of the Solent first Figaro, but we didn't really know after that. So.
No, it's been a pretty tough race. It's had a lot of ups and downs, and then a shutdown yesterday, lower this evening around Guernsey, and then a slow finish as well. So
yeah, 2 big shutdowns in the last 2 days. It made it pretty challenging. We were pretty worried that people behind would catch up on us, but we managed to pull out.
Sadly, RL Sailing suffered a 10% penalty for TSS infringement and dropped to third, the win going to France's A.D. Fichou. In the same pack of IRC boats was the JPK 1030 Leon, who had played second fiddle to Swell until the last 60 miles.
All the race was hard because a lot of tactical decision and a lot of wind also. So very difficult, and at the end a lot of different options, and we don't take the good one. So we have a little bit afraid for the finish, but it's a good happening. I think if we pass 1 hour later, we stay a lot of time here. So just for us.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Leon crossed the line just 17 minutes behind Henry Bromby and gold medalist Shirley Robertson aboard Swell, sealing Leon's win in both IRC3 and in the two-handed. Third time for Alexis Loison.
We didn't have the best start in a race that's going to last 5 days. We were over the line, a bit eager to get going, but we soon played catch up, and the first day was, I'm trying to forget it. It was pretty hard going, but it was a phenomenal race with, I mean, all kinds of weather and decisions, and sailing with Henry, amazing. What a talent.
sailing all season, I don't think we saw more than 20 knots. So straight out into 30, 35 knots was it was quite, blew away the cobwebs. But we were really quick actually in those conditions, but we went slightly the wrong way. So at Portland we were kind of 5 miles behind Alexi on Leon. Which kind of put us on the back foot, but you know, we sailed so well to get that back in a race course that kind of was getting more favourable for the leaders. So yeah, really proud of how we sailed. You know, we've got a few little toys and stuff we put on the boat to try and make us go faster, and I think we used all of our box of tricks, didn't we? So it was good. We were fast at times, and yeah, it was really enjoyable. A really enjoyable race.
Well, I've done the Fastnet twice before, and it didn't really compare to this. This is a whole different way of doing it. I mean, intense, hard. You know, we're pretty tired. There's not a lot of sleep, and this little boat, you know, it's so let up in those conditions as well. It was full on, and there was moments where we were just smiling, weren't we? Today, that massive long run down here was the best. It was such good fun, and yes, an intense 5 days.
Despite leading in both IRC3 and two-handed for much of the past 5 days, Swell took a well-deserved second. Just 5 hours later, leading the IRC4 fleet was an 18-year-old X332 TradingAdvices.com of Brest sailor Alan Grillinov. They take a win over some much newer high-tech craft.
Yes, it was very rough, especially for us, because we have a small boat, 10 meters, one of the smallest of the Rolex Fastnet Race, so it was very hard for us. Yes. When we arrived to the Fastnet, we were only, I think, 11th in the class, so we have a change of the wind during, just when we arrived to the Fastnet Race. Before arriving to the Fastnet Race, we had a change of the wind, so we lost a little arriving into the Fastnet. But after the Fastnet, for us, it was a real great pleasure. Between the Fastnet and Scilly Island, with the spinnaker, the boat was very, very, very fast. For this, the race was really a very interesting race. We had a great pleasure during this race. Yes, really, with good competitors. And but this year we are first in IRC 4. So it's a real success for us. Yes, good, very happy.
So that's it. The 2021 Rolex Fastnet Race is complete. And what a special one it was. A longer course, a bumper fleet, a new finish, and thanks to the global pandemic, a big challenge both for organisers and sailors before the first gun had even been fired.